We are recording.
Yay!
Hi! Hey everyone, I'm no. Hey everyone. this is my reality.
This is gonna be so fun.
Hey guys, I'm Kristen, also known as Voolenvine, here on the interwebs, on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, where I'm most active when it comes to social media, and of course on Ravelry. And today I have a really awesome special guest, Emily, who is also a Slow Fashion Rebel. She has her own podcast as well. Would you like to introduce?
Hi guys, I'm Slow Fashion Rebel on Instagram and YouTube, and I'm Emily Alice on Ravelry. You may notice me on Ravelry as the Voolenvine moderator. Yeah, I've been working for Kristen for about a year now, which is awesome, and it's been so wonderful and fun.
You can't have her.
Kristen has enriched my life so much. Aww. Just as a person, and yeah, thank you for having me.
Anytime. She's been working with me for a year and she has not been on the podcast, so we had to remedy that immediately. And yeah, in case you were just joining us, this is a podcast about knitting and sewing and making all the things. So if you are into that, just like and subscribe below and all that good stuff. But anyway, we have a lot to chat about. Before we get into what we've been making this week, just a quick word from my amazing sponsor, Skillshare.
Skillshare!
Skillshare! Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, tech, and more, even sewing and the fiber arts. As you probably know, I love learning new things when it comes to knitting, sewing, photography, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down, which is why I'm all about binge watching classes on Skillshare. And because I know you love learning new things too, I partnered up with Skillshare and they are offering you, my viewers, 2 months free to try their platform. So give Skillshare a go and learn something new. Just click the link in the description box below and enter the code at checkout. Enjoy! And thanks, Skillshare. I know, where should we start?
So where should we start?
Well, we are going to answer some Q&As. We just blasted something on Instagram, so we'll check in at the end of the episode and see what you guys want to know and try and do our best to answer them on here.
Maybe I thought we could, since your administrati section is in the beginning, we could talk about the year of the garment knit along and some parameters, because there's been some confusion. So what constitutes a garment, Kristen?
Well, in my humble opinion, I would say like a garment constitutes as any large project. So like a sweater, a cardigan, anything that's bigger than an accessory. Like, when it comes to accessories, I usually think of like shawls, mittens, hats, like the smaller things, but a sweater, a cardigan, swants.
I felt like it was anything you can put your arms or legs into. So the difference to me is that an accessory you can take off and still be wearing clothes and not naked. And a garment, if you took it off, you would be wearing undergarments. Or a sweater is a garment. You won't be naked if you take off a sweater, but you'll be colder, and the thing is, a shawl can be a large project, but it is an accessory. So basically we're talking about sweaters here, or dresses, or pants, or skirts, right? Or like tunics.
I like the connotation where it's like anything that you can put a limb into.
Put your arms or legs into.
Yes. So.
And then when does the year of the garment start, knit along start? What's the cutoff?
The cutoff, the year of the garment, I would say, is a year-long knit along. So the general idea is that it starts January 1st and ends January 1st, 2019 and ends January 1st, 2020. But we were getting some questions about, for Christmas Eve cast-ons, and I'm totally counting those as well. So if you did cast on your garment for Christmas Eve, then it totally counts as well.
Yeah, I'd say the last week of December still counts, because that would be a little severe if we just totally didn't include that. But I think the beginning of December, unfortunately, we have to cut it off somewhere. So does that seem right to you?
That seems very right.
Okay, good.
Yeah. See, this is why I have her on the podcast, to keep me in check, because I forget to mention these things when I'm actually recording. Yeah. The other, I guess, since we are still kind of in the administrati section of the podcast, Vogue Knitting Live is coming up. I think we should probably talk about that. So yeah, Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be able to.
I might be able to go on Saturday. Did I not tell you?
No,
I'm surprised.
no, you
okay.
didn't.
But it's not like set in stone yet. It's like a 85% chance I'll be able to go on Saturday, but I'll work on Friday and Sunday.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Emily might be, but I'm definitely going on Saturday. So if you see either of us wandering around, just, come on up and say hello. But yeah, that's coming up, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So it's coming up fast.
Yeah, really excited to meet you guys. Do you want to talk about like how we met and stuff, or do you want to go straight into the knitting?
No, let's talk about how we met, because I'm sure you guys all, or if you're just tuning in, you probably all want to know how Emily started working for me. I know, Emily, we both talked about how we met on our respective podcasts at some point, but since you're here, I think we should just kind of regale them again with
with the story.
With the story.
I like telling the story because, I think it's funny, but
it's a good story.
So, just a little bit about me to give you some context. Like, I have been knitting and sewing for a million years, and I went to school for theater, and I ended up doing costume design. And when I first started watching knitting podcasts, I worked in a Broadway costume shop. So I was watching Kristen's channel, and she was doing a great job at sewing, but also sometimes like having some questions that I found like that it would be really helpful if I chimed in and because I was a professional. I am a professional. Maybe this is like me having a larger ego than deserved, but I felt like my comments sort of stood out a little bit from the crowd because I was like able to say with, confidence and that like this is what you're doing right, and this is the answer to the question that you had regarding sewing. And then I just personally got really, really into knitting. I've been knitting for a long time, but like during this time I got way, way, way more into it and sort of lost a little bit of passion for theater, although I still love sewing. And so I was watching YouTube channels more and more, and I was like, there's this whole group of like knitters in Brooklyn, and like, why am I not friends with them? Anyway, and it was like, so... But I wasn't like a creep about it. This is like where it's a funny thing because anyway, but so I was, just because like they were this group of knitters in New York, like I would follow Kristen and I was following Jacqueline and Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast and Jacqueline Salem on Instagram. Anyway, the more I watched Kristen, the more and she would talk about like her life and stuff and like her neighborhood. First I was just like, oh, we both live in Bushwick. That's great. And then later on I was like, wait, like, cause she would drop little hints about like, I live across the street from a church that's like being reconstructed, and like I went to this particular restaurant, and like my post office sucks. And I was like, well, gee, like I live near a church that's being reconstructed. I know that restaurant, and my post office sucks. And then so like a couple of times, like I saw Dennis on a vlog. I think once it was like EYF, like I don't know, maybe even 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago.
So I knew what Dennis looked like, not because I'm a creep, but because I was a fan. And then one time when I was walking to work, going to the train station that's right next to my house, I saw Dennis on an early morning jog, and I was like, oh, we're neighbors. Like, we are legit neighbors. So then I like was not happy with my job, and I was gonna go back to school. I'm going to school for graphic design, and I reached out to Kristen because she mentioned she was looking for somebody to work for her part-time, and I said, not trying to be a creep, but I think we're neighbors. I had already started my YouTube channel, so I felt like that was really helpful so that I could just be like, this is an hour of me talking, like, so that's like hopefully evidence that I'm not a creep also.
Not a creep. And I sat on that email for so I was excited to get it. I was like, oh my god, this sounds like a really good fit or whatever. Right. But at the same time, it's like I wasn't ready to like jump on it because hello introvert. Yeah. And I was like, am I ready to hire someone? Am I like blah blah blah? And I knew that it was like a step that I needed to take. And finally I reached out to Emily and
I'm so happy that you did. When I sent the email, I was like, well, nothing is gonna be lost if I don't hear back. Like I fully realized that I like was there's a weird boundary like with like getting to know people on the internet, and it's like there is a fine line between being forward and friendly and being creepy, and I understood that I was really riding the line, so I was like very careful to be clear, like, if you don't get back to me, like, I'm not gonna be heartbroken about this. Like, I really want to respect, like, your privacy. Like, you know, I just like,
I felt like a horrible person for like not getting back to you. I'm like, she probably thinks I'm just like a
I didn't at all. I was just like, nah, you know, it's like
whatever.
You just have to like be okay sometimes with not hearing back from people, and it's like it's not like I spent hours or days like crafting that email and like, you know, I just wanted to reach out to you and say hi and stuff. But I'm so glad it worked out. I remember when we first met up at that coffee shop and like you gave me your number and I like screenshotted it. I was like, I'm friends with a famous person. So it was really exciting, and like, but you know, now the last year has been so rich, and I feel like our friendship has grown in.
It has.
Like,
it's like I feel like we've both added value to our knitting lives, and you know,
that's
it's
really
just,
nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yay!
Like seriously, every time we hang out, it's
like
a friendship love fest every time.
Yeah,
we get
we're both like we love hanging out with you. I love hanging out with you. So yeah.
Yay.
Anyway, that's the story. It was a long story. You can cut some of it out, but that's me. That's that story.
That's this chick. Yeah, but yeah, she does amazing work for me every week. It's you know, you come in and you dye yarn, you package all the orders, and skein yarn. You recently started doing that, and it's work that I enjoy doing for a certain amount of time, and then I'm just like, have at it.
But I really enjoy it because, I mean, it's so nice to have a job that's so close to my house, and honestly, with skeiner and stuff, like, I can just zone out, and like, I don't know, I'm really good at meditative things, which is why I like sewing and knitting.
Yeah,
so
go on autopilot, basically.
And I haven't had too much of it, you know, I haven't been doing it for 7 years, so it's like...
Just you wait.
I'm not sick of it yet.
Yeah, so I guess we are just going to go with the flow and show you what we've been working on, what we've been making, and all that good stuff. All right. So since you are the guest, would you like to go
I
first?
feel like I've been talking for the last like half hour. But I would like to know is this a new make?
This is a new make. Well, this is the dress one of the dresses that I made on my vacation.
Oh, nice.
So I guess
I just didn't see it. It's very cute fabric.
Thank you.
What's the pattern?
This is the Belladone dress by Deer and Doe.
Oh, cool.
So I was a little apprehensive to make it, but I kind of, you know, browsing Pinterest and the interwebs for, you know, like other versions of it. I really fell in love with the structure and everything, and it's, I guess I will stand up and be all awkward, but it has pockets, which I love, and then it has like this kind of cool keyhole back.
Yeah, it's
detail.
a really pretty back. I love how it overlaps on the, because it's not just the cutout on the back, but like, here, turn around. This part that it like overlaps right here is really nice, I think. Yeah,
it kind of does like an envelope type of effect. I think I have to unpick it and redo it just to kind of even it out a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it
doesn't look uneven to me.
It's fine. But I think the other thing that I'm not too crazy about is the fact that it's cotton.
Yeah, we're both kind of had this conversation just a minute ago where we were like, because this is a handmade dress. This is the Cassiope dress by IM Patterns, which you know, so it's like a boxy dress with raglan sleeves, and I love the pattern. And I fell in love with it because I saw this picture on Instagram of somebody wearing like a flannel shirt version of it, like a grunge style flannel shirt. And so that was why I wanted to do it, but I am wishing that I chose a drapier fabric. That's the key, I think, with a boxy style, is to choose a drapier fabric. It's a little bit more flattering.
But it still looks beautiful.
Thank you.
And you can always make another one.
I can always make another one. That's the beauty of sewing your own garments.
Yeah. Although and gray just really picks up on your eyes too.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go.
And it's cozy. It's like it's flannel, so it's like a winter, nice cozy winter
nice
dress.
Transitional, like piece, it looks like.
Yeah.
And I noticed like that style is really in right now among like the knitting community, like very boxy but gathered skirt.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, because I know like Caitlin Hunter,
she does a lot of that.
Tegna.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get that one day.
It's nice because it's like really comfortable, but you also get to feel feminine, you know?
Exactly.
I think that's...
It's like very... You're not constricted. Like with this one, I feel a little constricted, again, because it's cotton, and yeah, I'm going to be making this again, but just in a little bit more drapier fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I really just did not like about this was the bias tape. The making of the bias tape. I have to learn to love making bias tape.
Did you like fold it in
I did,
twice?
yeah.
Okay, so pro tip, if you ever make bias, just make a strip of bias. It should be on the bias, but like you don't have to fold it. Like it comes folded in the package so that it's easier to work with, but machines do that. So like you can have just a flat piece of bias. And my recommendation also is to go wider than an inch. I don't know if that was like a...
Honestly, I kind of winged it. So,
well,
yeah.
Like you can always cut it down, and I just find that like, especially if you are working with something a little bit drapier, like silk or anything that's a little bit drapey, it's just an inch is a little too narrow to be easy enough to work with. But yeah, I can show you how to do that.
You should have like a bias tape making.
Way faster.
Yeah. This is why we're friends. But yeah, like with this part, it required bias tape, but I just decided to fold it in and call it a day. Yeah. So anyway, that's my Belladonna dress. That's all I have to say about it. I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we move into knitting then?
Let's move into knitting.
Yay! Like this morning, I was imagining that we're the grocery girls, and like you're Tracy and I'm Jody, because like I'm the rebel. I feel like they're definitely like totally a obliger rebel pair.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll leave that part in.
That's referring to the Four Tendencies framework by Gretchen Rubin, which we're both obsessed with.
We're very obsessed with.
Yeah. Gretchen Rubin.
And the Happier podcast
group.
And we just dragged the Yarn Coven into the Happier cult of Happier.
But they discovered it on their own, and I was just like, oh my god, you guys, I've been a super fan of this forever. Like, that's so exciting. And that's why I named myself Slow Fashion Rebel on my Instagram, because I'm a rebel.
And I took the quiz too. I know we're totally going off on a tangent, but that's the fun of podcasting. There is the Four Tendencies quiz that you can take, and I'll actually link to it in the description box below. But I took it, and I'm actually an obliger, but I definitely fall on
the rebel side.
Rebel obliger.
Yeah. I'm definitely like on the questioner end of the rebel spectrum.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when she first told me that she was an obliger, like I was like, what? No, like that's impossible. You're definitely a rebel. But like, I don't know. I can see it more and more now.
It really depends on the situation. Because I'll be in situations where people tell me or suggest that I do something, and I'm just like, oh, now you tell me to do something? No, it's not going to happen.
But like the fact that you say that you've worked really hard on being able to stand up for your boundaries, like
exactly,
you know.
So it's like, and you know, even just kind of where I am an obliger, it definitely shows up in, you know, being a business owner, where it's like I'm trying to make sure everyone's happy, and you know, my customers and everything.
Right. And even when I'm over, and she's always like, do you want a La Croix? Do you want some coffee? Do you want...
I will always have La Croix.
She showers me with yarn, you know, all the time. And I'm just like, oh, well, okay.
I like happy employees.
I like being happy. Oh my God, this is the best job ever, for real.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
So, okay. I'm not knitting right now because it's like a colorwork project, but what are you knitting on, Kristen?
I mentioned this earlier, but this is my Tenya by Caitlin Hunter.
It's so beautiful.
I'm going to have this done by Vogue Knitting Live.
Okay.
But she says.
Oh no, you lost some stitches.
It's okay. I'm on the, what do you call it? The stockinette portion of it.
Yeah, so she can just go and go and go. I would need to be following a chart right now, but this is the Ingalls sweater by Caitlin Hunter. Kristen and I, so the three of us are gonna be twinsies, and this is gonna be done by Vogue Knitting Live. No, it's not at all. But I'll probably be working on it at that time if I can go.
It's just like a stockinette once the color works all done.
Which is great. Like that's sort of, I feel like I'll be able to get this done pretty quickly. So this is Voolenvine Yarns in Smitten Decay. And Kristen dyed this, not me. But the body is Deadly Nightshade.
Deadly Nightshade, yeah.
And then this color, which Kristen calls blue and I call green, is Dead Calm.
It's actually...
Which is in reference to a movie with Nicole Kidman that I've never seen.
It's such a good 80s movie. It's Nicole Kidman, Sam Neill, Billy Zane, of all people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he plays
so
the villain in there. And anyway, yeah, it's one of those kind of like low-key 80s movies that you don't really hear about, but definitely check it out.
Yeah, now I really want to see it.
Yeah.
And I really want to knit on this right now.
I'll stop knitting.
No. You should keep knitting. Don't feel...
Obliger coming out. I'm trying to think what else I want to say about this one. Oh yeah, the yarn that I used for this one is Viola yarn. So it's holding 2 strands of her... so 1 strand of her sock yarn together and 1 strand of her mohair lace weight together. And it's in her dark earth colorway. And I want to say the only modification that I made to this so far is I did a knitted cast on.
Oh.
Just to kind of give it that...
What's the cast on that's called for?
Just a regular long tail cast on. But I really like this. I don't know how well you guys are going to see this, but...
It's that little ridge right there.
Yeah, it just gives it like a really nice kind of twisted ridge. So
cool. Yeah. It's a really nice warm gray. So one fun fact, I recently learned that like all grays are actually, they're not made... You don't have to make gray with black and white. You can actually make gray with any kind of color. So now that I'm like looking at gray more carefully, like I feel like this was really giving me like a greeny blue vibe, and this is like a warm like purple.
It does have like notes of purple in
brown
here.
almost, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is like a very blue gray.
It's very blue.
Blue like a blue purple.
Yeah.
Also.
We're very like matchy today. That it was not
worked out. Yeah, I know. I came over and I was like, "Oh, good, you're wearing a dress. I'm wearing a dress." Like with this fancy necklace, like I thought I was gonna be way too dressed up.
I like dressing up for podcasts.
I know, me too. But sometimes you don't.
Sometimes if
sometimes she just looks like a cool girl, like.
I woke up like this today.
But every time, like I love Kristen's style. I'm sure you do too. That's why. Oh, thank you.
It's like it's. If I were not so like grungy and gothy and whatever, I would probably emulate your style.
I'm trying to be more grungy and gothy, so.
We should have like a Freaky Friday.
What do you think my style is if it's not grungy and gothy? I mean, it's not that it is. I do want to be more grunge.
I would say like you're very Katharine Hepburn, like just very kind of, but like more feminine. I feel like she's very just pants, but very cool, relaxed, and modern and kind of edgy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like an edgy, fashiony flair to my wardrobe.
So I don't know. How would you describe
my style or your style?
My style, yeah.
Ooh, that's such a good question. I love your style. I think that so describing Kristen's style, cool palette, definitely, with lots of like purples and mauves and blacks, so it's like no blue in there, but it's like
can't wear blue.
It's like goth meets princess a little bit, but also but it's not really goth, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little witchy, but also like really pretty. Like pretty is like a really good descriptor, I think, because it's like, I don't know.
I feel like it depends on my mood. Because like some days I'll feel like crap and then I'll want to dress up and feel pretty. And then other days I really don't care. I don't know. But yeah.
But it's like you mix like really girly pretty and
dark.
And also dark and edgy and not morbid, but like occult, in like this really, really exciting way. So it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what else should we talk about?
I have one more knitting project to share. If you watched my last podcast, which you should join my channel if you don't, but like I talked about my...
Doobly-doo right there.
Oh, okay. I was like, am I out of frame? So I was talking about my like knitting goals for 2019. And so I have a few particular sweater projects that I want to ideally get done this winter. One of which is the Ingles, which I just showed you. The second is Rhapsody and Cables. And then the third is this sweater called Ice Flowers, which I can like give you a link to or something, but I haven't cast it on. But I mean, that's like a really ambitious amount of sweaters, and if I don't get through them, like I'm not going to be disappointed with myself, but like I don't know, that's just my plan. So that's what I'm working towards. So I showed you the Ingles, and then I also cast on the Rhapsody and Cables with Malabrigo Rios.
That is super pretty.
And I don't remember the colorway name, but it's really been really fun. Like I was telling Kristen last week, I think, that like I haven't knit cables in a long time because I really got into color work this last year. But coming back to cables, it feels like it's like a fun puzzle / maze kind of, and you're like, oh, what's going to come next? And it's just like... It
keeps your mind engaged.
Yeah,
like,
it keeps... Yeah, and like I feel like I usually shy away from cables because I'm just like, oh, that's so much like brain knitting, It's not like TV knitting, which colorwork isn't either, but once you get past the colorwork yoke, usually like it is TV knitting. And I'm a firm believer that you need both, for like different parts of your day. But it's so, just going back to cables, it's so much less like heady or like, I don't know. It's just not, it is mentally, like you do need to be mentally present, but it's not in a way that feels like it's weighing me down or is like an overwhelming like, thing. It's like it's in a just keeping me engaged all the time kind of way. So that's been
or it's like you were saying, it's kind of like choose your own adventure type of thing. Is that the one where it's like cables just all across the chest? Like
it's all over cables. So but cables. Like you start in the middle and you go this way and then you pick these up. Oops, this is backwards.
And then knit it the opposite way.
Yeah, and you knit it the other way and then you go pick it up from the back and go down.
I think that's the one Mina had on at Rhinebeck. Yeah. That was really beautiful.
Yeah. Choose your own adventure, like, I think only doesn't work as an analogy because I don't choose, like, the pattern is written. So, but it does feel like an adventure, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I have to stop.
No, you don't have to stop.
I'm on autopilot.
You're getting shit done.
The only other project that I have going on, I don't even know if it's worth mentioning, but socks for Dennis. I'm on the second sock. Yay. I love Patton's Croy yarn though. Like I did actually a binge search on Amazon, I think last night or the night before for new Patton's Croy yarn because it's like it's such good sock yarn. Like those are the coziest socks that I own. And it holds up really well. You can chuck these in the washing machine and they will not like I don't feel bad about chucking these in the washing machine. Normally when I wash my hand knit socks, I just put them on like no spin gentle cycle in the washing machine and then I lay them out flat to dry. But these like seriously just I don't know what that was, but anyway, that's me doing laundry.
And it like popping back out at you and you catching
magic.
It. See, I gotcha.
We understand each
other.
You. It's fine. Okay, we're back in business.
Okay.
So anyway, my camera stopped recording because it has a limit, but we're back. We're back in action.
What's the limit? Is it like
it's
a
like
time?
26 minutes before it just stops recording.
Oh.
So
because it thinks you forgot about it.
It thinks I forgot to turn it off. Canon.
We didn't forget about you, camera.
Yeah.
We're still here.
We're still looking at you. We're still talking to you. What's up with that? No.
Hey.
But yeah, so I just have to dip the toe on this one, and I've started the second sock, and we're gold. We're all good.
I love this little corgi pin. It's so cute. Gabby's once upon a corgi pin.
That's Gabby's pin with the corgi wearing an oracle shawl. It's so cute.
So cute.
I point it out every week, I think. But yeah. Anyway.
It's so little.
It's so tiny and wee, and
love it.
But yeah.
Gabby's a rebel too.
She's a rebel. I want to be a rebel.
You kind of are.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just like say I'm a rebel and then be a rebel.
But then again, I like saying I'm on the cusp. I overlap.
Right.
So. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that is it for our knitting project.
We do Ask Me Anything questions?
Yeah, let's do that. So before we started recording, I blasted something on my social media about, let me see, questions. Oh, yeah, there are a lot of questions.
Oh, good.
So, Wool Jewel. All right. Hi. Hi, lady.
Hi, Caitlin.
Come do this. Oh, she's, Wool Jewel asks.
At my house instead.
Can y'all please come do this at my house
we'll be right there.
We'll be right there. We'll buy tickets right now. We'll just fly over.
No, I would love to go to Germany, though.
I went years ago when I was like 16 to visit relatives, but.
We're both German, too. That's another thing we have in common.
That's awesome.
But yeah, if you guys don't follow Wool Jewel, Caitlin, she's a great designer.
She is. Not to plug our friends, but you know, she's kind of awesome. Simply Anna D. Where do you see Voolenvine going in the future? Any grand plans or changes?
We talk about that all the time. It's a continual brainstorm, but it's Kristen's company, so it's totally her decision, and it's like I'm just happy to be a guest.
It's like I have things boiling in my brain, like things that I want to do. It's just I have to flesh out my thoughts. I need time to think. But great question. All right, this question is from Clevasour. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Clevasour90, and she says, "Got any tips for new sewers? I just bought my first sewing machine, but have never sewed before."
So with cotton, I know we just went on about how we don't like the fit of cotton garments, but you can do a lot with like bags and stuff, and also, once you get past sewing with cotton and you still want something like as stable, the great thing about cotton is it's really stable. If you want something as stable as cotton, but that's also easy to work with, I would suggest wool. Like wool is really great. It's drapey, but it's also really easy to work with. And linen is great too. So
I agree.
Stick with stable fabrics at first.
Yeah, cotton is really great for beginners because of that stability, and then also. If you want to up the ante, maybe graduate to challis, which I feel like is...
I would stick with so challis is a weave and not a fiber type. So, but it is a much drapier weave, similar to like a cotton gauze. So you could do cotton gauze too. Right. But challis is good. I mean,
it's a little slippery.
I would say like a flat weave linen or wool is the next step beyond just quilting cotton or cotton flannel. But then, challis or wool challis, cotton challis, or cotton gauze.
That's why
again the next step beyond
the expert.
Thank you.
To answer your questions, I know nothing.
No, you know a lot. I've been doing it professionally
I wing a lot
for
of
a long time.
I wing a lot of things, so it's like when you come in and you share your expertise, it's like, yeah.
But that's the thing. It's just yes, I know a lot of stuff, but I honestly like Kristen does more sewing than me, so I don't know. I feel envious of that sometimes, that you're just like able to, because like being professionally trained sort of makes you afraid to do stuff because you don't want to do it wrong, or like you want to take the time to do it right, but like. Not being professionally trained like makes you free to just use it like as a creative outlet and experiment and do that. So it's not that I'm better than you, like I just.
But you have all like
have a little bit more technical.
You have knowledge. Yeah. So
us working together like being friends is awesome, and like if we were to sew together, it's like
just come on over, make whatever you want to make, and have fun. Yeah. At the end of the day. Yeah. So. We should have a sew date.
That would be really fun.
Let's have a sew date. Yeah. Because clearly there's a desk over there with nothing on it and room for sewing stuff to happen. Yay! All right, next question. So a lot of questions about how we met. We already answered that. Where do you find inspiration for yarn colorways? So I feel like I've answered this on the podcast before, but I guess I'll address it again. Whatever is inspiring me at the moment. So like music, like 80s music. I'm a huge fan of, you know, cheesy 80s pop and everything. So a lot of that. And then a lot of macabre themes and gothic themes. Like Jane Eyre is one of my favorite books, so I have a couple colorways based on that. Edward Gorey, who's one of my favorite illustrators. So it comes from a little, you know, bits and pieces of stuff that inspire me. So, yeah.
Can I ask a follow-up question about that? So, like, you said that Jane Eyre is an inspiration. So, but that's like not a visual thing. It's a book. So
Right.
How do you take inspiration from a book and translate it into a color? Is it like taking colors from common Victorian, or is it like...
It's more of like a mood.
Okay.
So, you know, and watching the movies as well. So
Right.
just like kind of taking all that information and putting it on a skein of yarn. Just kind of, you know, grabbing colors that I think, you know, that remind me of the themes and everything in the stories.
Cool.
So, yeah. And I know Edward Gorey, most of his illustrations are black and white. Visual,
yeah.
So that is more of just kind of like a feeling and, you know, if it were a color, what would it be type of thing.
Cool.
So I have a lot of fun with that. I think that was it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your questions.
Yeah, thanks so much for your questions. Yeah, there weren't a lot, but, you know, I thought they were fun.
Yeah, they were fun.
So thanks, guys.
Maybe we can open a thread in the group, and if we do this again, we can pull questions from the group thread.
Yeah, maybe it can be on your podcast next.
Sure, yeah, that would be fun. In my tiny apartment with my terrible equipment.
She has the cutest apartment. I love it. And the cutest cat, too.
I do like
Lola.
my apartment.
Oh my God, her cat.
And my cat.
Lola is...
She's 13 years old, gonna be 13. Yeah, I was doing the 10-year challenge with my cat earlier today.
Oh my God.
She looks basically the same, but...
How big was she when you adopted her?
8 weeks old. Yeah, she was the tiniest little fluff ball. I just imagine her to be
like a tribble, just like fluffy.
Yeah.
Face it all.
She was so fluffy. And then because she's a really big cat, I was really surprised about how big she grew. I was like, well, I don't want her to be like a, you know, enormous cat. But then at one point I was just like, whatever, it's more for more cuddles. Like, it'll be better cuddles that way. So
she's like a little teddy bear. Seriously. I was like, oh my gosh.
Pretty great.
It's adorable. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what else. Is that it?
That's all. I can't think of anything else. Thank you so much for having me on.
Anytime,
thank you for watching, you guys, and
yes.
check out my YouTube channel if you want to see more of me.
Slow Fashion Rebel.
Slow Fashion Rebel. I'm on Instagram also, and hope to see you again soon.
All links will be down below. And yeah, I forgot to mention at the top of the episode, this is the 300th episode.
Oh yeah, happy 300th episode, Kristen. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a huge accomplishment.
And I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate the 300th
Thank you so
than having
much.
you on.
Thank
you. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
And happy knitting, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.